when you turn 18, आपको आर्मी जाना होता है. It's mandatory. In terms of non-veg, यहाँ पे beef खाते हैं. Now, obviously, we weren't used to eating beef in India. तो मेरे लिए काफी, I was like, oh shit.
6-7 बजे के आसपास 5,000 रॉकेट वहीं एक साथ ही फायर कर दिए इजराइल पे.
पता नहीं चलता कि अगर रॉकेट गिरा है या न्यूट्रलाइज हुआ है, वो टाइम लगता है समझने में. So it is just very scary. You can hear all the windows shaking, the doors shaking, the floor shaking. It is just a very scary experience. We live it on a daily basis, to be honest. We have an app that tells you, abhi rocket aane wala hai, start running. It's like another experience living in this country, to be honest. India में I am born and brought up in Thane. Which is क्या बोलते हैं सिटी विच इज 30 किलोमीटर्स फ्रॉम मुंबई. तो मेरी स्कूलिंग और मेरी जो जूनियर कॉलेज है वहीं पे हुई थी. एंड देन आई हैव बीन इन अराउंड थाने एंड मुंबई, बट मोस्टली थाने. सो आई एम फ्रॉम थाने.
ठीक है. और इजराइल में, अभी आप इजराइल में हो राइट?
हाँ जी.
ठीक है, तो यहाँ का प्लान कैसे बना, मतलब और कब बना, बेसिकली कब बना?
सो बहुत लोगों को पता नहीं है, बट देयर इज अ जूइश कम्युनिटी इन इंडिया जो जिनको everybody calls Yehudi. So it's a very small community. Let's say out of the 1.3 billion population जो इंडिया का है अभी फिलहाल, we are just about 4,000 Jews in India.
4,000 only?
Only. क्योंकि बहुत मतलब it was a bigger community a few years ago, but अभी बहुत सारे लोगों ने they migrated to Israel या further studies के लिए they went to different countries. तो अभी फिलहाल we are just like 4,000 Jews left. And ये कभी प्लान हुआ नहीं था बिकॉज आई पर्सनली सॉ माई लाइफ इन इंडिया. आई लव इंडिया वे टू मच. ये बहुत डिफिकल्ट डिसीजन था फॉर मी एंड माई फैमिली, बट आई थिंक आई वॉज इन माई mid-20s जब हमने डिसाइड करा था. सो इट वॉज अ म्यूचुअल डिसीजन ऑफ आवर फैमिली. ओके, सो टेकिंग यू वन स्टेप बैक, इफ यू आर Jewish, Israel as a country welcomes you to come and settle down in the country and become a citizen and work here and contribute to the community and the society. So because we are Jews, we were allowed to come and live here and get the citizenship, education, work. This is for the Jewish people in Israel. So that's how I'm here.
Okay, so एक बार टाइमलाइन के बारे में बात करते हैं. कौन सी कब आप मूव कब हुए थे वहाँ पे इजराइल में बेसिकली?
So हमने प्रोसेस एक्चुअली चालू करी थी in 2019. But we landed here in 2020, 4 दिन पहले before the first lockdown of COVID. That was my timeline. So it was very challenging, but we are still here, so that says something.
Okay, and what was your experience landing about उसके बाद ही जस्ट मतलब पहला एक्सपीरियंस जैसे
मतलब लैंड करते हुए ना, To be honest, I was not very happy about leaving India because obviously I'm born and brought up there. मुझे इंडिया बहुत ज़्यादा पसंद है. It was very hard for me to leave. तो I think initially it was very emotional, and then I thought चलो ठीक है, it's a new country. हम millennials बोलते रहते हैं कि millennials Gen Z, 20s is for exploration. तो मेरे दिमाग में ऐसा था कि जब हम आएंगे और if something doesn't work तो वापस आ जाएंगे, क्या ही है प्रॉब्लम.
Right.
But then उतने में I couldn't really enjoy my क्या बोलते हैं जो immigration process था because हम COVID में अटक गए थे यहाँ पे. And it was all very messy. बैंक अकाउंट खोलना था, हमारा जो इधर का आधार कार्ड है उसका प्रोसेस डिले हो गया था. And if you don't have an आधार कार्ड, यहाँ का आधार कार्ड, you can't open a bank account, you can't apply for work, you can't do anything because आपके पास आधार कार्ड ही नहीं है. तो पूरा प्रोसेस डिले हो गया था. And then यहाँ का एक सीन ऐसा है that once you come, Israel offers you Hebrew classes for free because it's the law. Hebrew is the language of this country. Okay. And because Hebrew is not so spoken worldwide, they offer you Hebrew classes. It's on the government.
Okay.
तो वो classes भी delay हो गई थी. And usually when you okay, the term is called aliyah. The process of coming to Israel is called aliyah. तो जब aliyah करते हो आप बहुत सारे फ्रेंड्स बनाते हो इन योर हिब्रू क्लास. तो मेरा वो भी मतलब वो निकल गया था बिकॉज हमारे सब क्लासेस जूम पे हो रहे थे. तो इट वाज अ वेरी वेरी चैलेंजिंग एक्सपीरियंस. बट या आई थिंक स्लोली आई मीन क्या बोलते हैं लाइक एज ह्यूमंस हम we learned to live through the hardest times. That's what we did. तो हमने Hebrew Zoom, like we learned Hebrew on Zoom, and then मैंने part time job करी, फिर full time job करी, then slowly that's how we are now here, kind of settling, not fully settled but kind of settling.
ओके तो वहां पर मतलब आपके कोई नोन में था वहां पे इजराइल मूव से पहले किसी को जानते थे? ओके
हाँ जी, so मेरे काफी सारे relatives are here already.
ओके
तो जब मेरे पापा, लेट्स से व्हेन माय फादर वाज अ चाइल्ड, उनके कजिन्स यहाँ पे आ गए थे ऑलरेडी. सो आई हैड अंकल्स एंड आंटीज और कजिन्स मेरे काफी है यहाँ पे. बट मैं मेरे इंडियन कजिन से ज्यादा अटैच हूँ बिकॉज ऑब्वियसली आई एम बोर्न एंड ब्रॉट अप देयर. बट मैं यहाँ पे आई हुई हूँ, आई नो देम. बट या मतलब काफी फ्रेंड्स एंड फैमिली है यहाँ पे पहले से ही.
ओके सो गिव मी अ ब्रीफ अबाउट इजराइल. मतलब बेसिकली डेवलपमेंट तो है, सबको पता ही है ना, राइट, इंडिया पर्पस से. और उसके अलावा क्या क्या चीजें जो मेजर है जो नोटिस करी जाएंगी, मतलब एक इंडियन वहां पे जाएगा?
ओके, तो इजराइल, wow, it's a very small country but it's a very powerful country. Okay.
हाँ
Okay, everybody knows about this. But okay, let me break this question down into several parts. So one is, Israel is similar and different to India in a lot of ways. I'll start with similarities. Okay, similarities in the sense the concept of family काफी strong है यहाँ पे. If you go to the Western countries, it's not very much. A lot of nuclear families you'll find, and boundaries बहुत सारी होती है families के बीच में and stuff like that. यहाँ पे they will give importance to family. And if let's say if you're in your mid-20s, आप शादी कब कर रहे हो? You know, like when are you getting married? They'll try and help you to find a partner. So family का concept काफी strong है यहाँ पे. Secondly, I think just like India, Israelis are very patriotic. They will do anything in their power to fight for their country. I don't want to get into the topic right now. सबको पता ही है क्या चल रहा है. But they're very strong on patriotism. I mean, मैंने खुद experience कब करा? Obviously, when the war started, everybody who had served the army here और जो अभी settled है abroad, who are not living in the country, left everything and just flew back for the war because they had to fight for the country. And यहाँ पे और एक चीज ये है that because there's so much anti-Semitism all around the world, there are a lot of Israeli influencers जो digitally combat कर रहे हैं इस चीज को. They will go and give speeches or make videos on the positive image of Israel, because Israel is also a very misunderstood country. It's a very good country but it's very misunderstood. तो वो एक काफी चीज है. Okay, when you turn 18, आपको आर्मी जाना होता है. इट्स मैंडेटरी.
ये क्वेश्चन था वैसे मेरा, मैंने लिखा हुआ था पर कोई नहीं.
So yes, when you turn 18, ये कंट्री का लॉ है that you have to क्या बोलते हैं, draft to the Israeli Defense Forces between the age of 20 to 25. Now when I came, I was 25, so they told me you're too old for the army. So I was like, okay, no issues. But my sister, she was 19, so she's in the army right now.
ओह ओके. और ये भी था, मतलब मैंने सुना कुछ टाइम के लिए, शायद 3 या 4 साल के लिए सर्व करना पड़ता है आर्मी में.
So it is different. So for girls it is 2 years and for boys it is 3 years.
Okay.
Mostly everybody here who lives here, who's born and brought up here, has served the army. Worst case scenario, if you're not mentally fit for the army, because they check your क्या बोलते हैं, psychometric test से वो check करते हैं if you're fit enough to be in the army. If you're not fit, तो then they'll give you social services and stuff. But mostly, let's say, a lot of people do the army. They choose to do the army because it's the culture of this country.
ओके हाँ, मुझे ये पूछना था कि मतलब आर पीपल विलिंग टू जॉइन आर्मी, या फिर वो कंपलसरी होता है या फिर मैंडेटरी होता है कि नहीं आपको करना पड़ेगा जॉइन? सो व्हाट द सिनेरियो देयर?
So there are two things. Mandatory तो है, it is mandatory. But a lot of Americans or let's say Jews around the world want to willingly come and only serve the army. There are a lot of kids who turn 18 and only come to the country to serve the army. So many people. I've never seen this anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
All Jews around the world. And then obviously once, the thing with the Israeli army is, आप culture में बहुत सीखते हो in the army. You know, you make friends and then you fight and you learn so many things. So let's say not most of them, but some of them end up staying in this country. Then they'll want to work and get married and have kids and all of that. तो मेरी एजुकेशन कम्प्लीटली इंडिया में ही हुई है. आई डिड माई बैचलर्स, मैंने फार्मेसी करी हुई थी. देन आफ्टर दैट मैंने MBA करा हुआ था फ्रॉम NMIMS. तो आई डिडंट वांट टू स्टडी, क्योंकि मैंने बोला मास्टर्स के बाद अभी क्या ही करो, वांट टू वर्क, अर्न सम मनी. सो
Yeah.
आई डायरेक्टली गॉट इनटू द वर्कफोर्स.
Okay.
ठीक है. बट आई, बिकॉज आई मेक अ लॉट ऑफ वीडियोज ऑन इजराइल, मैंने रिसर्च शुरू की थी अबाउट एजुकेशन. सो नाउ हियर्स द थिंग. people say that जो हाई स्कूल तक की जो एजुकेशन होती है ना, इट इज नॉट वेरी गुड इन इजराइल. बट जो लेट्स से बैचलर्स एंड अबव, इट्स अमेजिंग.
Okay.
So that is the difference that I heard from people. अभी मैंने एजुकेशन नहीं करी हुई है यहाँ पे, but my sister did it. And let's say compared to India, it is very simple. Like very simple, not at all competitive. It is like you can just crack the exam, whatever. But जो post, let's say graduation, post grad या post doc, PhD is like cream level. बहुत सही है यहाँ का.
ठीक है. एंड अदर देन दैट वो फैसिलिटीज वगैरह क्या हैं अवेलेबल वहाँ पे? मतलब वही हेल्थ केयर हो गया ना, ट्रांसपोर्ट हो गया, और जो फैसिलिटी है मतलब डेवलप्ड कंट्री उस हिसाब से.
Okay, so I'll be very honest. I'm kind of disappointed when it comes to, oh, people say first world country. I feel like India is so much better in so many ways. मतलब नीचे, like you go down, रिक्शा वाले भैया को बुलाया and then you go फट. ठीक है. अभी यहाँ का सीन कैसा है? You don't have rickshaws, right? Public transport है, but अभी सीन ऐसा है कि free, because population generally is small, the frequency of transport is also very less. तो इफ यू मिस वन बस या ट्रेन, तो आपको भैया रुकना पड़ेगा, अभी 20 मिनट रुको, वहां पे टाइम चला गया. अभी इंडिया में कैसा, मुंबई में लोकल ट्रेन एवरी 2 minutes, राइट. आई थिंक वन गुड थिंग इन दिस कंट्री इज देर आर facilities for disabled people.
Okay.
People who can't see, or who can't walk, or who can't talk. काफी facilities उनके लिए है. पार्किंग उनके लिए अलग है. तो रैम्प्स बनाई हुई हैं सब जगह फॉर देम स्पेसिफिकली. दैट्स दैट. अनदर फैसिलिटी स्पेशली फॉर पीपल हु आर सर्विंग इन द आर्मी. बिकॉज दे सर्विंग इन द आर्मी, उनको पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट इज फ्री. दे डोंट हैव टू पे एनीथिंग. और बहुत सारी शॉप्स और रेस्टोरेंट्स में डिस्काउंट मिलता है उनको, बिकॉज दे आर सर्विंग द कंट्री. सो दे गेट दैट बेनिफिट. एज एन इमिग्रेंट, when you come here, आपको first 5 months या 6 months के लिए the government will pay you a certain amount because you're not working already. So to support you and to kick off your life in this country, they pay you a certain amount for 6 months. And then they stop it because obviously they can't keep paying you, na? तो 6 महीने तक they will pay you a certain amount till you find a job, and then you can like rent an apartment and this and that. और एक चीज, अब मुझे सॉरी फ्लो में हूँ, अ लॉट ऑफ क्या बोलते हैं, पीपल हु आर लेट्स से रिटायर्ड, उनके लिए काफी बेनिफिट्स है. रिटायरमेंट प्लान इज देयर, लाइक मैंडेटरीली व्हेन यू वर्क, आपका सर्टेन अमाउंट ऑफ इनकम दे विल कीप फॉर पेंशन. यू हैव नो चॉइस.
ओके.
यू हैव टू कीप इट अलग से. तो व्हेन यू रिटायर, यू एटलीस्ट हैव सम अमाउंट कमिंग इन. एंड ऑब्वियसली अगर आप काम नहीं कर रहे हो after you're retired, because most people don't choose to work after they retire, right?
Yeah.
तो उनके पास मतलब there is some amount coming at home. तो वैसे I'm thinking और क्या है. And क्या बोलते हैं, the healthcare system is good. No, sorry, it's not good. I mean to say, like, you have to pay for it.
Yeah.
But your India is so much better when it comes to, अगर डॉक्टर के पास जाना है, you can just like go. यहाँ पे अपॉइंटमेंट मिलता नहीं है for like 6 weeks, and I'm like, अरे यार, मेरा बुखार या जो भी है, मेरा दर्द भी चला गया, अभी तक अपॉइंटमेंट नहीं मिला है मुझे. So that is the problem here, I guess. But I think they're just working on it. I mean, no country is perfect. So I think ये उनका जो challenge है, they are working on it. So we'll see what happens.
ओके. और फूड एक चैलेंज होता है इंडियंस के लिए बेसिकली, जो बाहर जाते हैं, कि वो वाली बात नहीं रही. तो कैसा फूड वहाँ पे?
ओके. तो मेरे लिए पर्सनली मैं इतनी फसी नहीं हूँ, तो मैं खा लेती हूँ, मतलब ऐसा कुछ सीन नहीं है, ठीक है. बट अ लॉट ऑफ माई इंडियन फ्रेंड्स स्ट्रगल सो मच बिकॉज, ओके, So if there was a spectrum of cultures of spice, say flavorful food to bland food, ठीक है, obviously Indian food is the most flavorful food.
Yeah, right.
Israel is like a medium, a mix.
हाँ.
And जो western countries है तो आपको तो पता ही है, मतलब
Yeah.
it is like, you
ठीक
know,
है.
so
Oh.
when Americans and let's say the people from the West come here, it's like, oh my gosh, it's so tasty. और but जब हम खाते हैं यहाँ के, like why is it so bland? आप समझ रहे हो, because it is like थोड़ा सा tone down है यहाँ पे. There are a couple of Indian stores जो Indian क्या बोलते हैं brands के जो मसाले and all वो sell करते हैं. There are a lot of restaurants as well, but they're very expensive. Very expensive. So whenever let's say I come to India, if my friends go, I will tell them कि भाई please मेरे लिए लेके आइए, because मेरा ये खत्म हो गया है, क्या बोलते हैं, what's the word, I forgot the word.
मसाले.
Anyway, so masale, whatever, like Maggi, masale, Lays, everything जो
Okay.
खत्म हो गया है, या चाय पत्ती, whatever, ठीक है. I'm like भाई लेके आ, because यहाँ पे if you want to go and buy 10 बार सोचना पड़ता है, मैं लूँ कि नहीं, वैसा.
Okay. What's the currency difference basically compared to INR?
I think if you check right now, I think one shekel is the currency. So one shekel is I think 20 or 22 rupees.
Okay. ठीक है. और एवरेज इनकम क्या होती है वहाँ पे, मतलब मिनिमम जो भी मैक्सिमम पे है वर्कर की, या फिर स्किल्ड फोर्स जो भी होती है?
So minimum right now, so hourly basis pay, it is between 29 to 31 shekels per hour, and I think it comes up to around 5,500 shekels. But if you are living in a city like Tel Aviv, then you can't afford, because मतलब यहाँ का rent is like mashallah, like I can't even like say like any other metropolitan city. But yeah, that's the क्या बोलते हैं, minimum. But minimum pay you cannot sustain. You either need 2 jobs on the minimum wage, or you need a decent income paying job
Okay.
to live in this country.
ठीक है.
पैसा.
और तो मतलब महीने का कितना खर्चा हो जाता है और कितने बच जाते हैं मतलब?
Oh God. Okay, so it again depends. Okay, so I'm going to give you an estimate. ठीक है. Let's say, okay, if I was to live in a studio apartment, जो mostly यहाँ पे है, studio apartment is anywhere between, again, this is, I'm talking about Tel Aviv, the center, जहाँ पे mostly लोग रहते हैं. It's like Mumbai, okay? It's like, starts from 4,500 shekels, minimum, okay? So that's my rent for a studio apartment, okay? Now, in addition to that, you have electricity bill, water bill, city tax, and building maintenance. उसका अलग, let's say 1,000 shekel. मतलब मेरी तो मतलब income उसमें ही चली गई, right? Rent पे. And then let's say खाना पीना, if I don't know, I think it should be around 500 shekels if I'm cooking at home. Okay, this is if I'm cooking at home. If I'm going or ordering food, उसका तो अलग ही है. And then let's say अलग से if I'm going out with my friends chill करने को at a bar, whatever, आराम से around 700 shekels more. तो अभी आप जोड़ लो और मुझे बताओ. It's like it's tough. So that's why most people here either live with a roommate because it's affordable, or like me, I live with my family.
Yeah.
Because it's easier, and it's also good to live with your family abroad, क्योंकि they're the ones who are closest to home. Because मैं अभी फिलहाल I've not completely settled. I still miss India. You know, अभी वो आसपास रहते तो अच्छा लगता है.
Right.
So like that.
Other than that, और क्या cultural difference क्या है Israel और basically India?
Cultural differences. अभी I think first was the army. India में कैसा? India में you are focused so much on career and education, right? यहाँ पे it's after you turn 18, high school के बाद you have to join the army. That's your life for the next 2 to 3 years. And then यहाँ पे pressure नहीं है for education. If you want to study, you study. Otherwise, you start working. तो education या career का इतना मतलब there's no pressure जैसे India में, which is a good thing and a bad thing. But I think that's there. I think secondly, यहाँ पे there are a lot of people from all around the world because Jews are there all around the world. तो यहाँ पे क्या बोलते हैं, मल्टीकल्चरल एस्पेक्ट काफी सही है. इंडियंस भी है, अमेरिकन्स भी है, ब्रिटिशर्स भी है, साउथ अफ्रीकन्स भी है. तो आई गेट टू लर्न अ लॉट फ्रॉम अ लॉट ऑफ कल्चर्स. दैट्स देयर. Thirdly, यहाँ पे I think Israel is the only country in the Middle East which is LGBTQIA plus friendly. So every June, which is the Pride month, there is a big Pride parade. So everybody likes it. Doesn't matter who you are or who you identify as. Everybody goes and celebrates. वो काफी बहुत सही vibe है उसकी. If you get a chance, you should come. It's like the best thing ever. So that's that. यहाँ पे what do you say? In terms of non-veg, यहाँ पे beef खाते हैं. Now obviously we weren't used to eating beef in India. तो मेरे लिए काफी, I was like, oh shit. I'm like, मुझे तो allowed है ना, मैं Jewish हूँ, I can eat. But because I grew up Indian, I'm like, अरे थोड़ा सा अजीब लग रहा है. So it took me some time to like try and taste. I don't frequently eat. मतलब ऐसे if I go out and if somebody's treating, then I will have. But I don't choose to have meat. I will have vegetarian food mostly. And I think in terms of food, a lot of restaurants are vegan. Lot of restaurants are vegan. तो काफी सारे लोग बोलते हैं अरे Middle East में a lot of people eat meat, but what people don't know is there are a lot of vegan and vegetarian options also in Israel. तो वैसा है. Is there and I think spiritually there are 3 major religions in this country: Jews, Christians and Muslims. And in a lot of cities आप देखोगे these all 3 religions, they stay harmoniously. काफी मतलब Christmas भी होता है, Hanukkah भी होता है, Eid भी होता है. So it's like India जैसे vibe है because you have so many religions.
Yeah.
तो everybody celebrates everything.
Okay. ठीक
तो
है.
वो भी काफी बढ़िया vibe है उसका.
ठीक है यार, यही पर्सपेक्टिव दो एक. मोस्ट ऑफ द न्यूज़पेपर में कहीं ना कहीं पढ़ता हूँ मैं, नेगेटिव न्यूज़ भी उस पे आते हैं कि जो ज्यूज है बेसिकली इजरायली है, मुस्लिम के अगेंस्ट है. आप रह रहे हो वहां पे, राइट? तो बेटर पिक्चर दे पाओगे क्योंकि अब एक नैरेटिव भी अब बहुत ज्यादा ही बन गया है वॉर के बाद से, तो कुछ ज्यादा ही है ना. मतलब व्हाट इज इट बेसिकली, क्या है वहां पे, कैसा है इनसाइड इन.
So I'll be very honest.
Yeah.
As an insider, I'll tell you, and I'm not being biased. Like I'm the person who will like openly want to talk about things. So the thing is, जो mainstream media भी फिलहाल दिखा रहा है anywhere in the world, anything against Israel is wrong.
अच्छा.
ये जो दिखा रहे थे we are bombing and this and that and all the Gaza civilians have to move. I mean, there's a different narrative to it. आप जो narrative देख रहे हो अभी फिलहाल वो बहुत अलग है than what's happening in this country. You need to understand that Israel is the only, let's say Israel is the only Jewish country in the world.
Yeah, right.
Okay? And if you, I'm not saying like talking numbers, but this is a fact. There are more than about 30 plus Muslim countries in the world.
Exactly.
Okay? So that's one narrative. Second is, how many countries do you, how many Muslim countries do you know where there are Jews living right now? None. And how many Jewish countries, only one, do you know where there are Muslims staying? Israel. So there are like so many things that people don't know, and then people like to take a, क्या बोलते हैं? I mean, everybody has an opinion these days, right? And social media पे एक comment डालो, एक post डालो, क्या ही है? तो वो snowball effect होके it has become a very negative narrative. वैसा. We want to live in harmony. But अभी scene ऐसा है कि if, let's say, India's friendly neighbors come and क्या बोलते हैं, harm us, are we going to keep quiet? No. We're going to do something about it, right?
Yeah.
That's what Israel's doing. That's exactly that. And I mean, we can go into this conversation as deep as much, but I don't want to, क्योंकि बहुत सारा वो negative इसमें चला जाएगा. But we are taking care and we are treating the civilians and giving them fuel, water and food and everything. But in spite of all of this, if a terrorist organization doesn't want it to happen, we need to ensure that the terrorist organization is taken care of, because both parties want to live in harmony, but there's this one beach ka party that is not letting it happen. like that. And I think over the years, because Israel pe itna, I wouldn't say atyachar, but there's so much happening in Israel. Israel has become very self-sufficient.
Yeah.
Okay. If we have rockets coming in, we have the Iron Dome, जो यहाँ
Yeah.
से neutralize करता है
Yeah.
enemy के rocket को. We have bomb shelters, right? We have bomb shelters for our civilians, so that we can run when there's an attack. Then they give us lessons on self-defense. I'm like, if that is an issue, why aren't you teaching your civilians that? Why do we have to teach our civilians and your civilians?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? तो ये थोड़ा सा scene है, but I think overall the truth will come out. People will know what's happening. But right now it's a mess. Like mainstream media ने काफी उसको खराब करके रखा हुआ है. It's just, I'm very sad about it, to be honest. But the truth will come out. So we're just doing what we have to do right now.
Okay. So tell me about the situation. Okay. So tell me about the situation. जब war ये start हुई, तो उस दिन आप कहाँ पर थे? Basically,
I was traveling.
नहीं, actually मैंने ना आपकी वो वीडियो देखी, आपने शायद अपने फादर के साथ बनाई थी. First, for the context, मतलब to know people more, मैं वो लिंक भी करूंगा वीडियो, इस वीडियो मतलब डिस्क्रिप्शन में. Then still, मतलब आप वो कहाँ पे थे और कैसे पता लगा, मतलब what was the situation that time?
So I was actually in Jamaica for a retreat.
Okay.
And I was to go to New York to meet a friend. So I was on a flight. And when I landed in New York, like at JFK, I got a couple of messages. मेरे Wi-Fi से तभी connect करा हुआ था. I didn't have internet तभी. And then all of a sudden I get about 10-20 messages asking like, are you okay? Is your family okay? Is your sister okay? I'm like, हुआ क्या है? And then I realized, because so many people are asking, कुछ तो scene हुआ है back in Israel. And then I open the news and I see like a massacre has happened and Hamas has attacked and this and that. And obviously when you're traveling, you're not in the state of mind, क्योंकि अभी cab भी book करनी है, घर पे call भी करना है, you have all of that. So the first thing I did was I waited the airport. घर पे call लगाया मैंने. I asked everybody, is everything okay? Where was my sister? My sister was at home. उसको call आया, you have to come back to the base. So she went to the base. And I was like, अभी करना क्या है? Like, I don't know what to do because I was feeling helpless. Right? मैं यहाँ पे बैठ के क्या करूँ?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I went to my friend's place, and I think mentally for me काफी tough था, because ये जो rocket attack था, ये I have experienced before.
अच्छा.
But उसके साथ ये massacre भी and rapes भी and kidnapping भी, ये बहुत ज़्यादा, मतलब it became very mentally torturous for me to क्या बोलते हैं, to process कि ये सब हो रहा है and I'm not in the country. How can I help? So I think it was just very tough. I was supposed to have a nice time in New York. I was only there for 4 days. Luckily my friends were like, चल बाहर चलते हैं. But वहाँ पे भी anti क्या बोलते हैं, pro Hamas rallies चालू हो गए थे on the streets. So I was like, is it safe if people get to know I'm Israeli? Will I be safe on the streets? तो वो हिसाब से I was like, I was trying to explore the city, but I was scared also कि you never know कौन कहीं से attack कर ले. So I was like careful at all times. I was constantly messaging my sister. वो तभी base पे चली गई थी and I was like, what's happening? क्या हो रहा है right now? And then she was updating me, live update दे रही थी कि ऐसे हो रहा है, वैसे हो रहा है. And then luckily my flight did not cancel. And El Al, which is the national airline of Israel, was the only airline that did not cancel any flights. बाकी सब airline were like, भाई हाथ ऊपर कर दिए, हम नहीं आ रहे. El Al was the only airline that said, if possible, we will add additional airlines to get soldiers, ex-soldiers back to the country for the war. Because we knew कि ये जो intensity of the situation was very heavy and there might be a war. So luckily my flight was there, but so now, because all of a sudden so many people had to come in, resources एकदम sparse हो गए थे. Like there were no resources in terms of for soldiers, backpacks, water bottles, G-Shocks, thermals. ये मतलब it was in very less quantity in the country. So a lot of people were donating money to buy this from US to bring it into the country.
Okay.
So a lot of people like us who are traveling from abroad to Israel volunteered कि भैया हमें दे दो, we will bring in as extra luggage and then somebody will pick it up from us and give it to the soldiers. So that's what I did.
Okay.
So luckily I knew a friend who was अभी भी कर रही है, like she was the main head of this operation, and I was like, Gilly, I am flying back. I gave her my flight details, and then she asked her friend to give, I said there were like 5 big bags full of all these supplies, and obviously there were a lot of orphaned kids because बहुत सारे parents मारे गए थे in the massacre, तो उनके लिए toys and a lot of other things for the kids वो भी थे वो bag में. So we helped them bring it from US to Israel, and then one of the volunteers picked it up from us from at the airport, और फिर उन्होंने deliver किया to the soldiers and the orphan kids. So this was like, and then I came back, and I think after that, for 2 weeks, there were continuously rocket alarms. Okay, I was working, I had to run to the bomb shelter. कोई toilet में, bomb shelter में भागो. It was just very random. Like there was no timing कि रात के 3 बजे या सुबह के 7 बजे. It was just very random, and एक साथ मतलब बहुत सारे भेजते थे वो लोग. So it was very scary. And it is not like दिवाली के पटाखे या 4th of July के fireworks. It's a very different feeling. क्योंकि यहाँ का जो अपना आयरन डोम का जब रॉकेट उसको न्यूट्रलाइज करता है, जो उसका बूम इम्पैक्ट है ना, इट जस्ट पता नहीं चलता कि अगर रॉकेट गिरा है या न्यूट्रलाइज हुआ है, वो टाइम लगता है समझने में. So it is just very scary. You can hear all the windows shaking, the doors shaking, the floor shaking. It is just a very scary experience. We live it on a daily basis, to be honest. वो अभी हमारे लिए अभी वो normalize हो रहा है. But मुझे अभी PTSD है. Even if I hear an ambulance, I'm like ready to run. I'm like shit, भागना है अभी. तो अभी फिलहाल that is the situation. अभी in the last 2-3 days it is quiet, but we are always ready to just like run. That's the situation right now.
So it's happening all around the country, or basically मतलब borders पे ही हो रहा है, क्या चल रहा है?
So I live in the center. It's just hard to say right now. I think the impact is more on the south because south पे चल रहा है सब. But they are sending a lot of rockets to the center as well. North इतना नहीं है, but center and south has a little more impact. South has most impact, then center and then north. वैसा है.
सबसे पहले ना यहाँ पे मैं बताता हूँ क्या हुआ था. तो इंडिया में हमें कुछ ऐसी न्यूज़ मिली कि एक दिन सुबह हमास जो टेररिस्ट हैं 6-7 बजे के आसपास 5,000 रॉकेट वहीं एक साथ ही फायर कर दिए हैं इजराइल पे. देन फिर हमें पता लगा कि इजराइल वो ग्राउंड फोर्स भी अटैक स्टार्ट हो गया है. देन एयर और सारी जगह से स्टार्ट हुआ है. तो क्या सिचुएशन हुई, तो मतलब एक साथ 5,000 भाई मतलब एक टाइम पे तो आयरन डोम भी ऐसा सिस्टम है, उसको न्यूट्रलाइज करने के लिए बेसिकली एक सॉल्यूशन यही है कि आप लगातार अगर रॉकेट फायर करोगे तो एक टाइम पे वो कंफ्यूज हो जाएगा वो सिस्टम. बेसिकली 5,000 बहुत ज्यादा ही है ना. वो कोई भी
5,000 एक साथ नहीं थे. It was like 5,000 in a day, you could say, or in 2 days. 5,000 एक साथ is I don't think Gaza has the system of sending 5,000 rockets. I'm sorry to say, but they don't have the system. But they were sending rockets for sure. I think in 1 hour there are around 200 or 300 rockets for sure. It was just like, it was crazy. Like I wasn't in the country, but I had friends who told me about it. And another thing, we have an app that tells you abhi rocket aane wala hai, start running. We have what's the name of the app? I think it's called Homebase. So it tells you कि यहाँ पे मतलब these are like red areas in your city, start running. It's like another experience living in this country, to be honest. So you get जैसे WhatsApp की कैसे notifications आता है ना IG के, वैसे you get rocket के notifications कि अभी now you have to run. So that's what I'm saying. Like Israel has developed all of these things: Iron Dome, applications, bomb shelters.
Yeah.
Because we are always defending. And why do we have to take care of your people? We are taking care of our people and your people. How didn't you do this in so many years? What are you using your funds for? Only for rockets? Why can't you use all this money that you're getting from so many countries? Why can't you use it to use for your civilians? You know what you see the difference?
Yeah.
बॉम्ब
basements होते हैं
शेल्टर,
या बॉम्ब शेल्टर्स।
बॉम्ब शेल्टर।
हाँ, तो कैसे होता है, मतलब घर के आसपास ही होते हैं या वो आर्मी ने बनाए हुए हैं, ठीक है? क्योंकि ना अभी एक मैंने न्यूज देखी थी, वहां पे साइरेंस लगातार आए रहते हैं, तो मतलब उसमें सो कैसे पा रहा है कोई? पहली बात तो वो।
No, you can't sleep. You really can't sleep. It is very, it is a nightmare, to be
या
honest. You can't sleep. मैं सो नहीं पाई थी for a week after I came here because of the sirens. मेरी नींद उड़ गई थी, literally. I had to work also, but I couldn't sleep. तो मतलब मैं mentally बहुत ज़्यादा drain हो गई थी. You can't sleep. So the bomb shelters, again, it depends. अभी जो new buildings है ना, they have bomb shelters inside the apartment so that you don't have to run बार नीचे. So now I live in an old building, so the scene of my area is, because the buildings are so old, हमारे building में भी नहीं है. You have a community bomb shelter, so I have to run outside on the road to find a bomb shelter. वो scene
अच्छा।
ऐसा है यहाँ पे. And if you are in the new building, तो because it's just hard to run all the time, उन्होंने जो एक बेडरूम होता है ना, वो बेडरूम को बॉम्ब शेल्टर बना देते हैं. मतलब दे हैव क्या बोलते हैं,
Can we jump in to say hi?
या सॉरी
क्या
सॉरी
बोलते हैं?
रवि,
हाँ जी.
एक्चुअली ना मैंने बताया था कि इजराइल रेजिडेंट है, एक फ्रेंड है, तो उनके साथ पॉडकास्ट है आज, तो मतलब
हाँ जी.
माय फैमिली ऑल्सो वांट टू से हाय टू यू।
अरे so sweet. Hi. Oh my gosh.
She's my sister-in-law.
Hi, lovely to meet you.
Same here,
I-
same
I'm,
here.
I'm Revital. You can call me Revi.
All right, all
okay.
right. So this said Vidushi, he is Tarun, and you know him. Already
Nice
you
to
know
meet you.
So,
Oh
Ravi,
wait, so Sachin
what's
and
the
Tarun are
situation now?
siblings.
या
Sorry.
You are
Okay.
still
हाँ जी.
in Israel?
हाँ जी, I'm still here.
Okay, and what type of situation is there about the work and everything?
So I have to work. I have no holiday. I have to work. That is like our coping mechanism, because you can't keep thinking about the war. We are trying to help Israel's economy by working. That's how we do it. But यहाँ पे अभी मैं सचिन को बता ही रही थी, for the past 2-3 days यहाँ पे rocket attack नहीं हुई है, so it's like शांत है थोड़ा सा. I'm able to sleep properly. चाय पी सकते हैं tension free. But you just never know.
मुझे लगा
My
पीछे
sister's
से
at the
blur करा
place.
हुआ है कि कहीं पीछे से मिसाइल भी जा रही है, वो blur कर दो।
You won't believe, that day I was in the car with my friend and we had to stop on the highway because there were rocket attacks. We had to get down of the car and lie on the road. And luckily वो जो इसके क्या बोलते हैं, जो रॉकेट के जो pieces होते हैं ना, because iron dome neutralizes it, right? तो वो गिरते ही नीचे, so you have to like really be careful, नहीं तो लग जाता, कभी-कभी it falls on you. It's a very different
Being an
experience.
Indian, ऐसा नहीं हुआ कि कुछ उसके रॉकेट के चंक्स उठा लेते हैं, घर लेके जाएंगे दिखाने के लिए?
नहीं मतलब this could be a way to do. I didn't even think about it. I don't think you can do it. I don't know. Possible, huh? I don't know.
Right. Thank you, Ravi. You can carry on with the interview. We can catch up later.
Yes, of course. Thanks for saying hi. I really like that.
Nice to talk to you. Bye.
Okay.
Of course. Bye. Take care. Bye. So sweet, yeah.
एक्चुअली उनको मैंने बताया था, तो वो भी कह रहे थे मतलब एक बार तो हम भी मिलेंगे, बात करेंगे, क्योंकि बेसिकली हम यहाँ पे मतलब 24/7 ना न्यूज़ वगैरह
आप
में
कहाँ
चल
पे
ही रहा है
रहते
वो
हो?
सब,
जब before we get into the interview.
या शब हरियाणा स्टेट में बेसिकली अंबाला एक
Oh, nice. I have I think a few friends from there, from college. I want to come to Haryana maybe soon. Maybe next time when I visit, I'll come.
या श्योर सो हाँ, वो आप मतलब वो सिचुएशन के बारे में बता रहे थे बेसिकली बॉम्ब शेल्टर के बारे में, जो कम्युनिटी बॉम्ब शेल्टर है।
हाँ, so like okay, I was talking about the new buildings. जो तो new buildings है ना, they make basically जो आपका let's say if it's 2 BHK, तो उसमें से एक bedroom will be the bomb shelter, so that it's not inconvenient for the family to run always. तो वो क्या बोलते हैं, I forgot the word, but the door is very heavy. तो impact मतलब it can like take the impact. The windows are like that. But basically it's like a bedroom. But it's just like the doors are different and the windows are different and the walls are जो उसका जो material होता है वो थोड़ा सा अलग होता है.
सो मतलब एक बॉम्ब शेल्टर में मतलब वहाँ पे क्या फैसिलिटी क्या होती है, मतलब वॉशरूम वगैरह होते हैं कि कई बार आपको क्या ऐसा हो सकता है ना 2 या 3 दिन वहाँ पे रहना पड़े, क्योंकि इफ देयर फुल स्केल वॉर
Got it.
और वो कम्युनिटी पूरी मतलब वो ना शेयर कर रही है वहाँ पे,
Got it.
तो फिर तो और डिफिकल्ट होगा.
No, of course. I mean, the apartment one, I mean, there's no point in having a washroom inside. But community ke, to be honest, there are no community centers, community bomb shelters where I have been to that have washrooms inside. They don't. So, and yeah, like touch wood, in the 3.5 years I've been here, यहाँ पे ऐसे मतलब full blown war हुआ नहीं है where I have to stay there for days. मतलब यहाँ पे होता है you wait for 15-20 minutes because you know you just never know, and then you go back. मतलब फिलहाल यही scene हुआ है.
Okay.
But that's a good idea. Maybe that's a good feedback for the Israeli government and the cities to like build washrooms inside bomb shelters.
वेल, भी होपफुली थिंक है कि वो उतना जरूरत ही ना पड़े,
Me too.
तो
Yeah.
ज्यादा सही है. या सो अदर देन दैट अभी सिचुएशन कैसी है, मतलब
The thing that you're seeing is not correct because what Hamas is doing is, I don't know if okay, for people who are watching, you should follow IDF account on Instagram. They put stuff which is like जो चल रहा है on the ground. They will film and put stuff on the account. So anyway,
IDF basically Indian Israel Defense Force, there's an official account of the Israel Defense Force.
हाँ जी. So the thing is, a lot of Hamas terrorists are क्या बोलते हैं? They are dressed up like civilians. So when they get killed, people think, oh, they're killing the civilians. Have you seen any Hamas terrorist having a uniform? No. So that is the psychological warfare. They have planned all of this. And okay, I don't think if this is the right or the wrong thing to say, but war mein the main impact is on the civilians. Okay?
Yeah,
Right?
both sides.
Both sides.
Right.
Both sides. And currently they are holding our 200 plus hostages. They want a ceasefire, but they don't want to give our hostages. You know?
So maybe वो सोच रहे हो शायद कुछ negotiation भी plan चल रहा हो या फिर कुछ हो.
They just want to wipe us out. There's no negotiation. You know what I mean? I mean, we want to
Okay.
negotiate, but they also want a ceasefire. They also want the fuel. Fuel khatam ho raha hai, but they have enough fuel to send the rockets. You see the play here. But like I'm trying to make you understand ki this is what they're playing a game, a mental game, and so there are so many social media accounts that are fake, that are made by these people. You know what they're doing? The Israeli influencers who have been posting stuff, they have been reporting their videos and YouTube or Instagram or Facebook. ये सब Israeli influencers के videos निकाल रहे हैं क्योंकि they think accounts are reporting them. And this thing has been happening for years, and it's just like it's very deeply ingrained. The hate is very deeply ingrained. We want to live in harmony, but again, if there is somebody who's trying to ruin it, we are going to save our people. And obviously we want to save, but तुम्हारे ही लोग, they don't want to save you. What can we do? You know? Did you know the Shifa hospital? जो hospital है, उनके बगल वाले रूम में और underground there was a Hamas operation center. They know Israel will not bomb the hospital. That's why they have it there. So Israel is slowly trying to क्या बोलते हैं, execute Hamas people. Let me say that, not civilians, Hamas people. All right, there's a difference between Gaza civilians and Hamas. I'm not saying all Gaza civilians are Hamas, but there is an organization and we like people over there. उनको निकालना बहुत जरूरी है because ये अभी नहीं stop किया ना, it will keep going on. तो
terrorism तो बढ़ेगा ही.
हाँ जी, and India knows this better. Like we have been facing terrorism for quite some time. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
तो वो प्रॉब्लम है. अदर देन दैट मतलब ये भी एक टास्क है कि मतलब यू हैव विल आइडेंटिफाई यू नो बी फ्रॉम द यू नो हमास और जो भी गाजा से
Exactly.
इनके बीच में कैसे आइडेंटिफाई करोगे?
Yeah, again, I can't answer that question because I'm not an IDF person. So it will be very wrong for me to say. But honestly don't have an answer, but the thing is, these people have guns in their hands. And I don't know if I can answer this question, to be honest. It's hard to identify. I agree with you. There's no way you can identify agar uniform nahi pehna hua hai. It's a civilian, and that's how they do it. अरे हमारे civilian को मार दिया, you know. एक ऐसी भी चीज हुई थी कि I don't know, बहुत बड़ा मचाया था ये सोशल मीडिया पे, I think 2 weeks ago. उनका ही रॉकेट गाजा में गिर गया था. And they said Israel का रॉकेट गिरा. It took them 3 seconds to say that so many people died in the hospital
because of Israel rocket. हाँ, वो
and
मतलब न्यूज़ आई थी कि civilians की डेथ हुई है और वो इजराइल ने अटैक किया.
Correct.
Yeah.
But it took us 3 weeks to identify our people's body in Israel. How can you take 3 seconds to say, oh, itna specific number at this location in 3 seconds? How can you do that? It took us 3 weeks to. Abhi tak people are identifying bodies because people bodies are burned, are raped, are molested. बहुत, I can't even like say it on camera. Just very bad.
अभी सिचुएशन कैसी है फिर करंटली, मतलब in the moment?
So as an Israeli civilian, I just have to be very careful because again, number one, we have rocket attacks happening, but thank God Israel, the Iron Dome is there to save us, and we have bomb shelters, and Israeli people in general are mentally very strong because they have been going through this for years. So they're very mentally strong. तो मैं जब आई थी ना यहाँ पे, I was like, shit, क्या हो रहा है? Because as Indians, we have no clue. कभी rocket attack नहीं, no nothing. I mean, obviously we have our challenges, but when it comes to terrorism at this level, we have, I don't think I have personally faced anything like that, right? So I was very emotionally taken aback कि shit, क्या हो रहा है? But my friends, they had the attitude of, we are going to win this, you know, because we have not done anything wrong. They attack and we defend. That has been happening, and you also have to be mentally strong for yourself and your family. But everybody is getting affected, right? Physically, you know, mentally, psychologically, on social media. It's happening everywhere. And like I said before, I have been working, यहाँ पे चल रहा है, work in the tech industry. So obviously millions and millions of dollars are getting spent on our defense. So somebody has to keep the economy of this country going on, right? So as civilians, it is our duty to work, even if we are not like mentally present, karna hai, because we have to fight for our country. So that's how we do it. We work, we earn money for our country, and trying to keep the economy going. That's what we are doing right now.
Yeah, sure. और बाकी कंट्रीज से मतलब क्या सपोर्ट है? मतलब मैं देख रहा हूँ वैसे तो फुल सपोर्ट, मतलब वो इंफॉर्मेशन वॉरफेयर हो गया और वो सब चीजें होगी, वो इजराइल के सपोर्ट में ही है. अदर देन दैट आल्सो एड भी आ रहा है, मतलब लेकिन जो वहां पे रह रहा है एक्चुअल में ऑन ग्राउंड मतलब क्या सपोर्ट है, क्या है?
My brain is so used to seeing support, humanitarian aid to Gaza. I forgot what my country is getting support, like from who it's getting, to be honest. I'll be very honest. I think in terms of defense, US ka Marine is like there with us. And also like in terms of like just the defense support, I think US is there. But you know what? It's a question for me. I don't know. I should be knowing this, but I don't know because I am seeing Gaza getting humanitarian support and this support and that support. I don't know what our country is getting in terms of support. I'll be very honest, I don't know.
पता क्यों? क्योंकि जो मतलब जो टेररिस्ट और डिफेंस के बीच में चल रहा है वो तो चल रहा है, पर सिविलियंस भी इफेक्ट हो रहे हैं. दोनों साइड के थोड़े बहुत तो हो ही रहेंगे,
राइट?
थोड़े बहुत नहीं, वैसे बहुत ज्यादा ही हो रहे हैं, और उनको सपोर्ट तो चाहिए, है ना? गवर्नमेंट तो इन्वॉल्व है इन सब चीजों में, देन वो तो चाहिए होता है दोनों साइड की तरफ से. स्टिल अगर देखते हैं, चलो कुछ होगा इसके अलावा. एंड अदर देन दैट, और उसके अलावा देन हॉस्पिटल्स वगैरह, मतलब उसकी क्या सिचुएशन है? मतलब लगातार फिर वो आ रहे हैं, फिर वो प्रेशर.
The thing is, जो साउथ में, because just क्या बोलते हैं, जो attacks and massacres that happened, it happened in the south. तो वहाँ के जो अभी orphaned kids हैं, वहाँ उनको एक साथ मतलब they have kept in a center. There are people who are volunteering to take care of them and be with them. I'm not sure adoption का भी scene चल रहा है कि नहीं, because बहुत सारे बच्चे, and there are a lot of old people and क्या बोलते हैं, a lot of people are physically hurt. तो they are being treated in hospitals. A lot of people have volunteered to क्या बोलते, cook food, pack and send it to them. एक्स्ट्रा क्लोथ्स है तो क्लोथिंग एक बॉक्स में डाल के भेज दो. मतलब the things that we have at home extra है या whatever, we are trying and sending everything to them because we need to, as a community here in Israel, if people don't help, it's fine, we need to do it. आप समझ रहे हो?
Yeah.
तो फिलहाल this is how we are like supporting them, to be honest. अभी
यार एक चीज मुझे पता लगी है जो इसराइल के बारे में, कि जो आपस में जो कम्युनिटी का सपोर्ट है ना, वो बहुत तगड़ा है.
बहुत ही ज्यादा. I cannot tell you, like especially in this situation, और ज्यादा वो बढ़ता है. मतलब generally है ही. I mean, I'm sure like that people know politics and all, like it's very volatile here. But when it comes to situation like this, we are with each other, no matter what. You know, you need to speak to somebody. I'm not feeling good. I'm here on the call with you to speak to you for hours. If you physically need me there for something, I will come. सब छोड़ छाड़ के. रात के 3 बजे if you call me, you know, take me to the hospital, I will come. And it's not one person, like everybody is doing it. You know, तो इसका community का जो strength है, it's very strong.
Okay. Tell me about your president, prime minister, जो भी है, मतलब बेंजामिन नेतन्याहू.
हाँ, he's the prime minister.
उनके बारे में भी काफी नैरेटिव है ना. So basically, how you have seen his governance basically. How is he as a prime minister? You know what he is doing right now.
So I'll be very
for the
honest.
country,
I'm
basically.
not very comfortable talking about politics. That I'll be very okay. Let me put it this way. In India, I never took interest. I should have. I never took interest in politics. I'm like, ये क्या ही होने वाला है, you know? But when I came here, everybody's talking about politics. Oh, another thing about culture. Everybody talks about politics. Chai ke time pe, breakfast ke time pe, dinner ke time pe. If you're on a date, everybody's talking about politics. That has to be a conversation. So now I've started to educate myself about, you know, politics and left and right and liberal and stuff like that. So
in general, मतलब domestic politics के बारे में या फिर वो geopolitics?
now domestic, like I need to understand the politics of the country that I live in, and obviously India. Now I've started to develop more interest because, you know, when you live in a country which is so volatile, you need to understand what's happening in the country and who's supporting who, you know. So I think in terms of Bibi, we call him Bibi, right? So okay, Bibi and Modi are good friends, right? I think a lot of people just like Modi, like the country is divided. A lot of people like him, a lot of people hate him. But after this situation, everybody's questioning, what were you doing? What happened to the defense? We have the best defense in the world. What happened? How can they enter our country? So there's a big question mark on why it happened, how it happened, and how he's handling it. So we don't know. It's very volatile. Like I think right now he's doing everything in his power to defend Israel, but you just never know. People are very upset with how this came down. इतना ही बोलूंगी मैं.
Other than that, internet situation वहाँ पे मतलब stable है, क्योंकि ताकि हम information अपनी बाहर भेज पाएं. मतलब क्या situation है उसकी?
The internet is working here. I mean, it's just that आपके पास सही information नहीं पहुंच रही है. I will say that.
हाँ.
People are just getting manipulated by BBC and other mainstream media जो information भेज रहे हैं, which is so incorrect. I have said, like, follow a couple of influencers who educate you. मतलब they will tell you कि ये क्यों हो रहा है because of this reason. They will educate कि what is the jud of this war or whatever. And then there's obviously this IDF. And then there are influencers like Khan. I will send you the links if you want, you can add it. And then there's Hanania Naftali. He's actually, a lot of Indian subscribers follow him. Hanania Naftali. He does a lot of, you know, educating about Israel's history and stuff like that. So our internet is working. I'm working. Internet is working. But आपके पास सही information नहीं पहुंच रही है. That is a problem.
ठीक है यार. Hopefully मतलब ये situation solve हो जाए जितनी अच्छी उतना सही है. And other than that, thank you for doing this यार.
अरे.
Questions थे मेरे.
Of course.
Yeah. And may the basically peace है वो बन जाए.
Yeah, we are all hoping for peace.
Yeah, right. तो इंडिया आने का तुम्हारा कब प्लान है फिर?
अरे मेरा तो ये दिसंबर में आने का प्लान था बिकॉज वन ऑफ माय बेस्ट फ्रेंड्स इज गेटिंग मैरिड, बट आई डोंट नो इफ आई कैन बिकॉज द वॉर इज ऑन, माय सिस्टर्स देयर, आई डोंट नो इफ आई वांट टू लीव द कंट्री विथ हर, यू नो, इन द आर्मी, एंड देन इट्स जस्ट अ वेरी वॉलेटाइल सिचुएशन. तो मेरा प्लान था दिसंबर का, but it's just like hard to say. Maybe early next year we'll see how that goes. I don't think there are flights also right now. There are, I think, rescue flights, but ऐसा normal flights नहीं है. So we'll see when it happens.
Hard to say.
Yeah, hard to say.
Okay, no problem. Still मतलब देखते हैं, फिर भी जब भी आओगे तो बताना एक बार, मिलने का प्लान करते हैं.
मुझे नॉर्थ आना है, like दिल्ली, हरियाणा, मुझे वो करना है. The thing is, I am from India, but I feel like as an Indian, I have not explored India. So I want to explore that as well. And obviously, I will meet you and your family. And
sure. Okay, Ravi, thank you so much. And मैं सारे जो भी लिंक है मतलब डिस्क्रिप्शन में डाल दूंगा एंड ऑल्सो टैग करूंगा.
हाँ जी.
आपकी कोई भी क्वेश्चन हो मतलब डायरेक्टली पूछ सकते हो. एंड थैंक यू सो मच.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you.